Hey all, welcome to Homestead. So we're over here at Nana's house, and here's the carport project I've been working on. Got some tin on it, and we had to put some steps in temporarily just because insurance required it, which we have these perfectly good steps out here, but because that's a door and needs steps. Government regulation, man, let me tell you. And don't make any mistake, it is government regulation. An insurance company does not have to do that. They do it for their own liability. It's nonsense. Anyway, here's the carport. You can see here, today, going to be working on getting the ramp started. So we're going to pull away these steps here. Going to put a platform here. These steps, try to repurpose and have them go off that way. The ramp, so we can make it as close to ADA compliant as possible and give Grandpa as smooth a slope as possible. We're gonna come down this way with it, out to here. Then we're gonna come along here. So from that post down to here, and then down that way. And that will allow Nana to back in here, and hopefully the ramp will land in a good spot, very close to where Grandpa just has to open the door, turn around, go right up the ramp, and into the house. So that's the goal. So first thing I'm going to get doing is just use the weed whacker, get this grass taken down here. Probably going to do a little shovel work with this mound, kind of smooth this out a little bit, and then we'll get to moving the steps and doing the construction. As you can see, I've got a lot of material there that I bought last night. And I don't know if this is going to be a single shot video or if I'm going to do this in phases, because I'm going to be building it in phases, both for time and also just to spread out the cost over a couple pay periods. So probably be a multi-part video as well. Today is focused all on getting the platforms done. There's going to be 3 landings. There's going to be the door landing. There's going to be that first landing, that first turn, and then that turn over there, and then down to the ramp. So 1, 2, 3 platforms. Going to get those built today, hopefully, or at least in this video between today, tomorrow, and we'll go from there. All right, going to get started. might have seen me digging a little bit there or not. So let me take you over here. Trying to find a good camera angle so you can see everything that I'm doing. So what I did was measured from the bottom of the threshold of the door here, use the level to get a line here to where I want the top of my platform to be. Measured an inch down to account for the deck board. I'm using 5 1/4 deck board, so that's 1 inch nominal, give or take. Set that down, snap that line here, set this down 1 inch below. Have the wife come over and hold the board nice and level. This post's already here. It's part of the carport. There's no reason to not use it. It's pretty close to what my plans were originally anyway. So I'm gonna use that as an outside post for that side here. Then on this side here, to get this level, this board's already level, so I'm gonna take another 4x4 and I'm gonna cut it for a couple inches longer than the height wants to be. Right now the height is about 32 inches, give or take. I'm digging a hole there not to get below the frost line. I'm not trying to get to the frost line and set a solid post for that. This is going to be a relatively temporary structure. I want it to be able to last. I want it to be able to last at least a couple years, but I don't necessarily need it to be long lasting, survive a lot of frost upheaval and everything like that. So I'm giving it a couple inches down, again, like I did the steps in the front. You probably saw that video. It's just enough to give it a bite into the ground to help hold it in place. It's going to be anchored to the carport and everything, so it's not going to want to move a lot anyway, but this will just give it a little bit extra hold. Okay, not going to concrete it, not going to do anything of that. The whole thing's going to get concreted at some point. We're going to start with gravel, and then we're going to do a pave at some point. So that'll definitely lock it in. But I think that's going to be way further down the line, not worrying about this. So that's what I'm doing here. I've obviously dug a little deeper than a few inches. I'm going to cut the post at about 36 feet, because that's going to be about 4 inches more than the overall height. Then I'm going to match this up flush here to the top of this board and fill in until it's nice, good, and solid, sitting on firm ground there. And then I'll anchor it here. Once this side's anchored, this post is anchored here, then I'll get working on going across. And I'm just making it level all the way across. So. Pod battery has died, and the battery on here is about to die. So I'm going to take a short break, grab a little snack, let these charge back up a little bit, and get back at it. If you can't see what I'm doing, or it's not obvious what I'm doing, I put the level here, clamped it, This is exactly how far apart I need this post to be. But I'm not really using this as a guide, a gauge other than for level at the moment. I'm gonna sink this post. It is square. I've got my framer spur here. So I know that this is straight across, and this is pretty much where this post needs to be. But the main purpose the level is gonna serve is to get this post at approximately the right height. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that framing member, go in the outlet. I'm going to secure it to that post, the one that's not in yet. So it's kind of like, it'll be like an L, and move it up here, and then I'll adjust, tweak it and everything, and zap it in, lock that in, and go from there. So take a break and I'll come back. All right, back from lunch. Gonna get back at it. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I made my own mistake. I only wanted that to be 48 inches wide. And I did, but I put it on the inside, which is where I want it. I want it on the inside, but I didn't account for the ends. So it's going to be, let's see, so 3.5 or 3 inches. So it'll be 51 inches wide, side to side. As long as it's still level, I'm not going to change it. I'll just adjust for it. It's not going to impact anything else I'm doing too much because I'm kind of building this in pieces anyway. So can't really see it here, but what I've done here, I don't think what I've done is I've just clamped a scrap piece of 2x10 there. I'm going to screw it in underneath there. It'll give that board something else to rest against in that corner. Since I'm not putting a post directly in the corner, it'll just help give it some bracing there for that piece. So I've just kind of grain end or end butted with screws that side. I haven't done the brace board yet because that gives me a little bit of play here to get this final 56 on, get it nice and square. I think that makes sense. I hope what I said makes sense. So, pretty much square. Obviously, dealing with Lowe's lumber, so We're gonna have little minor imperfections here and there, but if we measure it, should have 56. 56. 55 and 7/8 really. And 56 and 1/8. So obviously not perfectly square. We've got about 1/4 of an inch variance between this corner and this corner. And I think some of that is its squareness, not its actual dimension, because I cut this piece. Well, no, I cut this piece a little long. So this piece is actually 56. 56 and a 16th really. So it's my cutting, not necessarily that it's at a square. This way we got 51 and a half. 51 and a quarter. 51 and a half. So this end is more just, not sure what happened with this end. Could be that this just got cut a little. Yeah, it's 48. Not sure where that quarter is missing, but it's more or less square. It's gonna work, definitely. It's sturdy. Definitely no wiggle or anything like that. So now I just gotta I gotta double check my plan. I don't know if I'm just adding one in the middle. 48, 1 2-foot center should be okay. Okay, double checking my span tables. I actually do want 2. I want them on 16-inch centers, and I want them running this way because my decking is gonna go that way. Is that how I want my decking? Yeah. That's the best way to do it. So I'm gonna have 2 in the middle there, 16-inch centers. And that's what I bought the material for, so. Piggy on the loose, gotta go. So, I'm glad I caught the piggy out of the corner of my eye. He had just gotten out. That gate, one of the upper posts needs to be tightened. I'm gonna get back to this now, okay? Just want to show you this in case you've never seen it before. This is a great example of what's called cupping. Let's see if I can get in here. All right. So can't really see it completely pronounced, but you can see how this kind of curves away from the line. So it's flush here and flush here with the square, and then bows kind of away. So that's actually called cupping, not bowing. Bowing is when it does it along the long side of it. But when your boards cup, cupping is when it's on this side. So if you're looking at the board like this, it makes it like a boat, like that. Bowing is, or crowning sometimes called, bowing is if this were to look like a rainbow or a bridge, where this side's lower, and there's a hump here. That's important when you're doing rafters. You want to make sure the crown, because all wood's going to do that to a certain extent. You want to make sure the crown is facing up, so that as the pressure from the material on top kind of flattens that out. Cupping, there's not a whole lot you can do about it unless you get like a plane and take that cup out. But if you're just using straight dimensional lumber, you just want to avoid picking up pieces that have cupping or too much pronounced cupping. For this, we can get away with it because it's not too pronounced. It's over the span, and it's not going to affect the overall strength, the vertical strength, which is what we want here. Decking material placed on it, but before I do that, I'm going to actually get the stairs in the position where I want, because I want to tie those there, and that's going to be a lot easier to do without the decking board. So I'm going to work on putting that in place and getting that leveled out and attached. So got to do a little bit of modification, not a big deal, but basically it's going to involve taking off this ledger board here, which is fine because I'm going to come from the back and go into it. So this rim joist will actually act as the ledger for that. No big deal. But to make that fit, got to just cut these off a little bit closer. We'll keep the angle just a little bit. So these stairs were made by Uncle Paul, Nana's brother. It's temporary and they're great. I want to keep using them for this purpose. So just got a slight modification and attachment. So I already cut the one end off and it was fussed with it. I realized I didn't turn the camera back on. But I've realized I kind of actually need to take the other railing off completely, at least the hand railing part, because it's interfering with coming up flush with that. battery. I want to get these done today. Okay, so it's done as much as I can do tonight. Not because I'm running out of light, but I've run out of straight pieces, and that last piece, the last gap, is less than the 5.5 inch width of the board. So I'd have to modify that board anyway. So I'm just gonna call it for tonight. Gonna help get chores done, and not too bad for first day, first go. We got those stairs moved, they're functional. Going up to that platform. Saw me standing up there and walking around. You know, there's little things. Not completely flush here. I don't know if you can see that gap very well. Part of that is just it's Lowe's lumber, and so it's gonna have little warps and defects, but everything else is sitting flush and plumb as we can make it with what we got. The steps are a little cocky, but they're solid. They'll be fine. So I'm gonna wrap up for the night, and this will probably be the end of part 1. We'll do part 2 for the other platforms, and maybe part 3 on the ramps. So till next time, God be with you all in all that you do. And remember, keep the faith and definitely keep up the fight. God bless.